Hello everyone. This is a storybook about the book titled Just DUDIS, The Pursuit of a Happy Human by Raff Suzah. Chapter 8. What you think of yourself can define your skills. When I got there, Nelson and his son placed the refrigerator I was in on the corner of the workshop. As they were both thirsty, Nelson went upstairs to get some water for them. I realized their house was on the second floor of the workshop. Chris decided to start working on the appliance while his dad got the water. He took the refrigerator apart and started with the door. That's how he saw me. "Oh, what are you doing here, my friend?" he asked me, knowing I couldn't answer. This is a common thing about humans. They like to talk to cats knowing they can't reply. Indeed, he insisted. "Oh, you're wounded. Come here. I won't hurt you. I can take care of you." I was so tired that I barely looked at him. He got me and started checking me out. He put me on an old wooden table. I lay down quietly. Chris got a white box with a red cross on it from a shelf and put it near me. He opened it and put some kind of cream on my wounds. "That will make your wounds better," he said to me. I couldn't give him much attention because all I wanted was sleep. Then I heard, "What's going on here, Chris?" asked Nelson when he saw me. That was the moment I thought Chris was going to make up an excuse, but I was about to learn something very nice about that father and son. They had a very strong pact of never lying to each other. Chris would tell me later that before dying, his mother made them promise never to lie to each other. Nelson and Chris took it very seriously. "Dad, I found this cat inside the refrigerator we brought from the NGO," Chris explained. "Oh no, we must return the cat immediately," he explained. "We can't. He's wounded. He looks exhausted. I don't know if he'll survive the trip back to the NGO. Besides, he got hurt there. He probably got attacked by other animals. If we return him, he won't be well treated." Chris had a good point and convinced his father. Nelson agreed to let me stay until I healed. "Okay, I guess we can keep it," said Nelson. "Thanks, Dad." "What's his or her name? Is it male or female?" asked Nelson. "I don't know. Let me check," said Chris. A couple of seconds later, after checking me out from the bottom to the top, he said, "I don't know how to see those things. You know, I haven't been doing well at high school since Mom's death. I hate biology. I don't know how to see those things." "I'd guess it's a female," replied Chris. "Female? You must be kidding me," I thought. "Give her a name, then," said Nelson. "Let me think. Well, I like Luna," suggested Chris. "Luna? Luna Fridge," said Nelson, pointing to the refrigerator and smiling. Chris agreed. I was thankful for not going back to the NGO to die because of those cats, but Luna Fridge was the worst name a human ever gave me. My name is DUDIS. Just DUDIS. But the time went on and on after all, and we got attached to each other, and I became their pet. They bought a nice box house for me to sleep in. It was cozy and nice, but I always preferred Nelson's bed. Chris loved to watch television with me on his lap. He was trying to learn how to play the guitar by himself. He had an old guitar and was practicing a song. "Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream." I can't believe it. It was like that song was haunting me. Nice rhythm, bad strange lyrics. Chris seemed to love it because he wouldn't stop practicing. All we know, he was a nice human. He also used to buy me some toys, but I guess I was growing and I didn't feel like playing so often. But we had a nice relationship. However, Nelson was the best. He loved to share his food with me every single time he was having a bite. He talked to me as if I could answer him back. He told me his whole life story. He told me about his marriage, his wife's death, and the amount of jewelry his wife left for him before she was gone. He was sad because every month he couldn't make enough money to afford the workshop bills. He had to pawn her jewelry. He didn't have many left. He used me to tell his secrets because he was feeling lonely. At night, I used to go to his bed and sleep with him near his feet. I felt happy there. Even if by accident I was living in a different place, that was way better than the NGO, but not as big as Paula's house. Actually, it wasn't a house at all. It was a workshop full of tools, tables, and old appliances. Nelson and Chris used to sleep on the floor above, which was smaller, and there was an apartment with only one room. Chris slept on the couch. Even though they were hard workers, Nelson and Chris had a big problem that even they recognized. They were very disorganized. Chris used to say the place needed refurbishing, but Nelson used to respond by saying he didn't have cash to invest in that. I learned a lot from Nelson. Even being handicapped, he never let this get in the way for him to stop doing anything. He worked as hard as his son, despite being older and having infantile paralysis. He accepted who he was, and I never saw him complaining for a single moment about his physical condition. He once told me that when he was younger, he was always angry because of his physical condition, and his life was very sad and depressing. When he made the decision to accept who he was, his life changed for the better. As I mentioned before, the place wasn't so big, but I could feel I was home there. I spent great years of my life with that father and son. I felt like I had accomplished my mom's mission. One day, I was walking around the workshop. I knew every centimeter of that area. I saw a woman coming inside. She was approached by Chris. "How can I help you, man?" he asked. "Oh, honey, my freezer broke. I was told you can fix it. You guys are the best, by the way. I'm Scarlett." "Okay, you have come to the right place, I guess," said Chris. He was embarrassed for being called honey by a strange woman. "That's great! I really need it because I sell homemade ice cream," said the woman. "You can give the address where the freezer is that my father and I can go there and take a look," said Chris. "But you guys are going today, right?" she asked. "We are kind of busy with other appliances," Chris explained. "Please, I really need it. Could you make an exception for me? I'll lose money if I don't get it fixed. It's a small freezer. Besides, I guess the problem's not a big deal. It will be fast and easy for you guys," Scarlett begged. Chris insisted, saying he couldn't do it today, but Scarlett started crying. Nelson heard it and showed up to find out what was going on. "Chris, let's make an exception for the lady. Come on, let's get the toolbox and see the freezer," said Nelson. Chris didn't like that because he and his father never did this before. "Respect all clients," his father used to say. And now a crying woman shows up and an exception is made? That wasn't right. I went with them. Wherever they went, I used to go together. Scarlett saw me for the first time and said, "Oh, what a beautiful and amazing cat you have." "Oh, thanks. This is Luna, Luna Fridge," said Nelson. "Oh, it's a girl? She's so cute," she said. Chris always found it strange the way she pronounced words. She used to make too many compliments about everything and exaggerate the words to reinforce her opinion. It was like she was forcing herself to be nice. Scarlett lived in a regular house. It was small, but she was alone. I guess it was okay for her. There was an old blind and deaf lady sleeping in the room. Scarlett said that was her grandma, but she was really ill. She was so bad she could die any time. Nelson and Chris had a really hard time to put the freezer on the pickup truck. It wasn't small at all. "You said it was small," said Chris, looking at Scarlett, but she didn't say anything back. She only smiled at him. So the freezer wasn't small, nor easy to fix. It needed specific parts to be fixed. Nelson and Chris took a long time to get it done. Scarlett used it to visit them every day, using the freezer as an excuse to have long talks with Nelson. In the beginning, I didn't like her, but she used to be nice to me by bringing me food or toys. My life with Nelson and Chris was fine. I was afraid her presence could harm our good relationship. Chris always refused the shirts she brought him, but Nelson used them all. It took me some time to realize Chris was right. Although being a very outgoing and nice person, Scarlett was a liar. Lying was easy for her because she'd practiced so much. But it was too late. Nelson fell in love with her. Even with Chris' total disapproval, they started dating. It didn't take her long to move her things and start living with Nelson. Years went on and the strong dad and son bond weakened. Stuff they liked to do together they didn't do anymore. They even fought more. Most times it was because of Scarlett. Nelson thought Chris was jealous because she wasn't his mother. Nelson was in love. Male humans are sometimes very stupid when they are in love. When Scarlett moved in, she slept every night with Nelson, so I couldn't be in his bed anymore, and I had to spend the night in my box house. Not cool. I liked Nelson's bed so much more. I asked myself many times why Scarlett wanted to date Nelson. I found the answer the day I heard her sending audio messages on the phone to a friend. By the way, I learned so much about cell phones after living with humans. Hi, Jenny. You know me. I'm dating now. Yeah, he's handicapped. Why another cripple? Well, you know me. I love to date weak ones. They are usually so humble and I feel so empowered over them. I like to be the strong side in a relationship. Love? Come on. You know I only love myself. I just want a weak man near me. Besides, I'm aware his wife had some jewelry, a special stone to be more specific, and they are hidden somewhere. Once I find it, I may dump him and look for another broken moron. I got so mad when I heard that. Scarlett was going to steal all he had and break his heart? I had to do something. Although I understood about phones, I couldn't actually use one due to my paw to get Nelson to hear these audios. Besides, last time I touched the phone, I got in trouble and I almost got myself killed by Jacqueline, Josh's super jealous girlfriend. But I thought I could give it to someone who would find out about her. So when Scarlett got distracted, I got her cell phone and put it in my mouth and took it to Chris. What's going on, Luna? Whose phone is this? He asked me. I wanted to answer, but I couldn't. I kept looking at him. For some reason, he understood and started to use the phone. This is Scarlett's phone. I must give it back to her, he said. Damn it, Chris. I got so angry about his honesty at that moment. Anyway, he returned the phone to Scarlett without listening to what she said. The good thing was that Scarlett wasn't honest at all. When Chris gave her back the phone, she thought he heard the audio about the things she said to Jenny. Then she looked at him. Why are you using my phone? She asked angrily. I wasn't, he replied. Okay, she replied back. Scarlett really thought Chris heard her audio, so she decided to act sooner. Besides that, her reaction got Chris more suspicious about her. She planned something for dinner time. Scarlett put some kind of powder in the juice she made so that Chris and Nelson would sleep the whole night and she could look for the hidden jewelry. The drug also had powerful effects and used to make people saying things they didn't want. That's how she got Nelson to whisper in her ears where the jewelry box was. After dinner, they felt sleepy and went to bed. She said she would do the dishes. While everybody was sleeping, after a couple of minutes, she started the hunt. As it was a small place, it didn't take her long to find the jewelry box. That was going to be the end for Nelson, but Scarlett got a big surprise when Chris turned the lights on. He got her with the jewelry in her hands. Chris also had her phone in his hand. He finally heard the audio. You were a thief! I knew it, yelled Chris. What are you doing here? She asked, surprised. I didn't drink your juice. I knew there was something weird in it. You poisoned my father, he said. Then he threw some cold water on his dad's face in order to wake him up. Oh my God, what's going on? Nelson asked. Dad, listen to this, said Chris. He heard the audio Scarlett made and he got shocked. Chris also explained her plan of poisoning them in order to steal the jewelry. She's a professional liar, Dad. You know Billy, the retired police officer whose fridge was fixed? I gave him her name. He couldn't find her. That house we fixed the freezer at, it wasn't hers. It's a random old woman's house. She offered herself to help this old lady to repair her freezer in order to get closer to you. Even her car, she got it with a fake ID and a fake address. It was all set up. But why? We don't have much jewelry. We are humble and poor people. Why? Said Nelson looking at her. Scarlett got angry and told them the story. Years ago, I met Amelia, your dead wife, at a wedding. She was wearing a necklace with an opal stone. This stone is more valuable than a Ferrari. She was a little drunk, and I approached her in my way and asked about the stone. Her father was a war hero, and he found this stone during an attack in a war zone when he was a young soldier. She took the stone with his things after his death. That's what she told me. I noticed she didn't know the value of the stone either. She was only wearing it to remember her father. The colored stone? That's not valuable. I don't even keep it with the other jewelry. It's somewhere in the workshop. I never knew that was worth money. You know we are very disorganized. I put it somewhere in the workshop a long time ago and never found it, he said. The other jewelry you have can barely pay an electric bill of this place. But the opal stone, that's real money, explained Scarlett. She was near the room door to leave them, exiting, having never found the stone. The funny thing is that I found that stone on my first days at the workshop. I never knew its value, but I loved to play with it. I always hid it somewhere different after playing. Chris and Nelson never found out. At that night, I was playing with the stone and it was in my cat box. Yeah, it's for real. I was in my cat box with the stone. Scarlett told Chris and Nelson that she would leave them forever and vanish in the world. She left the bedroom and passed through the living room to leave them. Nelson was speechless and didn't know what to say nor to do. Chris wanted to call the police to arrest her. While father and son argued what to do with Scarlett, she left the house. But before leaving, she saw the stone inside my cat box house. She didn't think twice. She took the box house with the stone and me inside. She got in the car to escape forever. Scarlett knew how to drive very well and she was already ahead of them. Besides, her car was faster. I tried to open my box house and jump out of that, but I couldn't. She locked me in. I was too big to go through the grid. So, when she was carrying my box house to put it inside the car, I thought about dropping the stone on the floor for her not to have it. However, if she found out, my idea would be ruined and she could punish me later. I had only a couple of seconds to decide if I was going to drop it or not. My mom's voice came to my head saying, "Just do it, do it." Then I did it. Luckily, she didn't notice. When Chris heard her leaving, he ran after her with Nelson. They instantly noticed she got my box house and took me. "She took Luna fridge!" yelled Nelson, desperate. "Let's go, get in the car," said Chris. Before getting in the car, Chris found the stone on the floor and took it. "Look, she didn't get the stone," said Chris. "I don't care about the stone. I never did. I want my cat," he said. Then he looked at him and said, "Son, please, forgive me for all this." "I love you, Dad. I always will. It's all good," said Chris and gave him a strong hug. He cried a little, but it felt good having his father back. Even they tried hard, their pickup truck was too old and slow. Scarlett was already far away and had left with me. And that's how I lost another human. Whenever I found a happy human to live a good life with, something happens to ruin it. I never saw Nelson Chris again.